Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about traveling to Panama during the pandemic. I'm just going to be sharing some tips, what you can expect, certain type of restrictions, documents you need to have with you available before you travel. So if you're new here, thank you so much for joining us, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have been a subscriber of mine, thank you so much for watching. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. First tip I have would definitely be you do need to have your COVID-19 test 2 days prior before you fly out. So I find it easier to print out my documents. I saw a lot of people struggling having their phone, and it's just pretty hectic, especially when you have to wait in line. People are waiting behind you. I definitely recommend printing out your COVID-19 test and just having it on hand, because you're gonna have to show it several times. So it definitely is better to have it printed out. At least in my experience, it just went so much easier versus having to continuously pull out my form. Okay, and you're gonna have to show it at every airport you go to. Even if you already showed it before, you have to continuously show it every single time at each airport that you go to. All right, the second thing I want to talk about is you probably want to know a little bit of Spanish. I mean, when I say a little bit, maybe more than a little bit, because I know how to say like hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo se llamas? You know, I know the real basic things, poquito. Like, I don't really know a lot, which really came to bite us in the end, because it was just really hard to communicate. No one speaks no one speaks English, so it was very hard to communicate with people. So definitely make sure you can speak a little bit of Spanish, or have some type of translator or something with you, because that would definitely help you a lot. And I want to talk about is there's no internet service. So outside of the resort, we had no internet service, so we can even use our iPhone translate to translate from English to Spanish, or vice versa. And I feel like it kind of felt like a little unsafe not being able to use the internet or having the maps or anything of that nature. So that was kind of, you know, a pain, not having internet services, just making sure we're back before dark, because again, you're in another country, there's no internet service, or you're gonna call, like, literally make sure, well, you can't make sure anything, you just won't have internet. The only people who did have internet were the locals. So yeah, it was pretty difficult with that. Another thing I want to talk about is that they have a curfew. So the curfew is at 9 p.m. and then at the resort at 6 p.m. So it was really a bummer that we couldn't like chill by the pool and drink, and you know, they could have left it open till at least 10, because it's at the resort, you know, and the place we stayed at had residents as well. So really confusing to me why we weren't able to enjoy the amenities. That was kind of a bummer. So basically you had to stay in your room, and you couldn't be out past 9. And also, even when we did go out at like around 7, everything was closed. Like, everything was like closed, so we would get dressed every single day, no matter what. Literally everything was closed about 7 p.m. So yeah. Another thing that was crazy was certain genders can shop on certain days. So like, if you were a male and it's like a Tuesday, you have to wait outside, and then Tuesday women can shop, and so on and so forth. So that was kind of weird. It's because of COVID, so you literally had to wait outside if you were the opposite gender. Another thing, it is so humid. I had my hair straight when I went there, and I definitely wish I would have never had my hair straight, because I think if you're black, you should definitely go with braids because it's so humid. Your hair will be sweating out. You'll have to straighten your hair every single day, which definitely heat damage. And my boyfriend, he's bald, so his whole head was burnt and peeling. So that was kind of a bummer. So definitely make sure you have sunscreen, wear braids or like some type of protective style, because you definitely will be getting burnt or your hair will be getting sweated out. So another thing is, on top of it being hot, no matter where you are, if you're walking down a street, it's not like America, you still have to have on your face mask. So even though it was, on top of being hot, it was so humid, you still had to have a face mask on outside. And we went to a couple of different, like we went to Old Panama, and all the walking and stuff, like that was just so annoying because you have to walk and you have to have your face mask on. Like, oh my god, it was so terrible. And you have to have it on obviously every store you enter, and it was just a lot to deal with. Another thing that I want to talk about, not a lot of things are open. So a lot of restaurants were closed. We only had like a few options for restaurants. The resort that we stayed at was a JW Marriott, and the food wasn't that good. Okay, the chicken wings though, the chicken wings were so phenomenal. That was like probably the best thing that we ordered. But they didn't really have like Panama food, like Panamanian food. It was just kind of like American food, but it wasn't that good because obviously it's a different culture making American food. So it was just like meh. And then like the restaurant that we did go to a few times was I think it was Armenian restaurant, and then I wasn't a fan of the food at all. It was like okay. And we just were very limited on how many restaurants we could go to. Like, you know, we did go to one restaurant I really loved. I will insert a clip here. I don't remember the name, but I'll insert a clip here or insert the name here. But it was really good. The only thing I noticed though is that with Panamanian food, they use a lot of sugar in everything, and I'm kind of used to that because my mom was from the South, so we put like sugar in our grits and our rice and our black eyed peas, and you know, I'm kind of used to that, like in our yams and stuff. So kind of remind me of that. But if you're not used to having sweet everything, then it can just be a little bit different. We were able to go to I think it was called Monkey Island. So we were able to go on a tour to Monkey Island. That had that type of activity was available through the resort. So we went on a tour with one of the guys from the resort. I think his name was Chuck. I think that was his name, Chuck. That was really nice. That was kind of like the highlight of our trip. But the canal was closed, so we couldn't go through the canal because it was closed. And here is the biggest tip of all. If you go, listen to me, if you go, please make sure you go through Monday through Friday, because we missed out on 2 whole days of our vacation because the whole country is locked down on the weekends. So even the resort pool. So literally all we could do was go to breakfast, in the morning time on the weekend, and then go back to our room, and there was nothing to do. And then like they had one bar open at our resort, like a restaurant slash bar where you could still go there, but it was just kind of like very mediocre, and it wasn't like really much to do. We already been there a few times. We stayed for 7 days, so we were just like, no, like that wasn't that great. So I just feel like we missed out on a lot of our time. I wish we would have known that they were closed on a weekend, the whole country was closed on a weekend, and then we could have went Monday through Friday and left on like Saturday or something. And then also when you're exiting, you have to get a COVID-19 test when you exit, and we speak no English, so filling out the form and just trying to understand like what certain words were. And then again, there's no internet connection, so you can't Google anything because there's no internet connection. So that was definitely a bummer as well. And then it was also really expensive, but I think because we got the rapid test, even though they couldn't tell us in English like exactly what we got, I definitely know that that was a rapid test because it was like $180 for 2 tests for me and my boyfriend. So I was thinking that we would have the awesome advantage of using American dollars and it being worth more in Panama, but unfortunately they use the American dollar too, so the value is the same value as it is in America. So, you know, there wasn't much we could do about that. We did have we did go to the old Panama, and it was kind of nice because we got to sit outside because they kind of built us our own little table with chairs outside. And overall it was a very nice trip, but I just wanted to make this video because there are so many things that I wish I would have known prior to booking my trip, and I feel like it would have kind of better prepared us mentally. But this was a very impulsive trip, and we didn't really look much into it. We knew we had to have like our COVID tests and stuff. We didn't know the depths of everything. Overall, a great experience, but I feel like it could have been better if we would have planned accordingly. So that's all that I have for this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more travel videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Mwah.